Good evening and welcome to episode 62. As always, we will start with our gratitude attitude. So please gently close your eyes. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, relax your muscles. Take another deep breath. As you exhale, let all the tension in your muscles melt away. Take one more deep breath. This time, completely let yourself loose. Now, think of one thing that you're thankful for that happened in the past week. Once you have identified that, think about why you are thankful. And now let's set it free. If you're by yourself, say it out loud what you are thankful for and why. If you're with someone, tell it to each other. Okay, so have you ever had a feeling that you are just on the go all the time? There's always something to do or someone to entertain. I know a number of people who enjoy this fast paced life. It's good to give yourself a timeout every now and then and recharge yourself. So, today, let's discuss enjoying quiet time on our own. First, let's look at why quiet time is important in our lives. A quiet time allows us to self reflect. It actually may lead to daydreaming. When we are in a quiet zone, our mind tends to focus on what matters most in our lives. I do want to caution you though, if you are not used to quiet time, At first, it would seem like the mind wants to go everywhere, but eventually it will settle down. As we get accustomed to quiet time, we'll become mindful and see the advantages of being in the present moment. Staying quiet also has physical benefits, it seems. A 2006 National Institute of Health study shows that staying quiet for 2 minutes significantly reduces heart rate and blood pressure. The opposite also is also true, and a noisy environment increases blood pressure and heart rate. I was actually having a conversation. This was maybe 5 years ago, I want to say, maybe 4 years ago, with a science teacher at my kid's high school. And he's a presidential award winner science teacher. He got award by President Obama. He went to White House and all that good stuff. And he had this habit, he said he was trying out, where at the end of the class, in last 5 minutes, he'll stop teaching and he'll ask kids to just put their head on the desk and stay quiet for 5 minutes. And he read somewhere that that increases absorption power for the kids. They retain a lot more in that case. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But some people have difficulty staying silent, right? Fear of missing out has a lot to do with this. A lot of people in our society need external stimuli, such as social media and personal devices, to keep themselves busy. If you think about it, they are trying to avoid their inner thoughts and feelings. Have you noticed that young adults tend to get bored easily? They just don't know how to be with themselves. They'll never learn that skill, right? I often say that if you enjoy your own company, you will never be bored in your life. Another advantage of being quiet is that it allows us to make sense of it all. All the chaos that may be happening around us, all of a sudden makes sense. We can see the bigger picture, if you will. So here's an interesting research I found. Boredom leads to creativity. According to John Eastwood of the Boredom Lab at York University in New York, in Canada, and I'm surprised as you are that there is such a thing as a boredom lab and somebody's paying for it. But anyway, according to John, two key things are happening in the mind when we are bored. The first thing is that they have a desire to do something. When one is bored, one wants to do something. The other is that there is access to this mental capacity that is available because you're not doing anything. And a combination of these two things, desire and available mental capacity, leads to creative ideas. I thought that was quite interesting. So, how do we stay quiet, you might ask? There are a number of ways to practice staying still. I'm just going to give you a few of them. These are not everything, by the way, there are a lot more, I'm sure. So, easiest thing you can do is to stay in your bed a little longer. Pick a weekend day and just don't get out of bed for a few hours. Another approach is to sit after your meal at your dining table. My wife excels at this. She would just sit quietly for an hour after her meal. That's her alone time. Another approach is try to challenge yourselves to stay silent for a certain amount of time. So we used to play this game actually when kids were growing up. Whoever can stay silent the most wins the game. This is such a relief as a parent, I tell you, right? Kids get to play the game and you enjoy a little peace and quiet, right? I mean, that it's best of both worlds, right? Yet another way is to go for a swim or a hike without your phone. And that's the key thing, right? Without your phone. That's going to be some quality quiet time. A Harvard Business Review article from 2017 notes that quiet time increases your chances of encountering novel ideas and information and discerning weak signals. When we are constantly fixated on the verbal agenda, what to say next, what to write next, what to tweet next, etc., etc., it's tough to make room for truly different perspectives or radically new ideas. It's hard to drop into deeper modes of listening and attention. And it's in those deeper modes of attention that truly novel ideas are found. Again, this comes from the Harvard Business Review article. So here's an interesting idea. Some people think the craving for silent time is somehow cheating the system or not taking care of your responsibility. And I'm here to tell you that that cannot be further from the truth. We all need that alone time. That is the time where we can take control of our mental needs. Our mind needs that rest. So I hope this gives you something to think about and make quiet time part of your daily routine. If you have young children, I strongly encourage you to teach them how to be quiet. I know it's very difficult, but if you make that practice, it is well worth the effort for their own future well being. So, in our today's meditation, as always, we'll settle down at our heart by focusing on our breath. Then we'll observe awareness of the universe. If a thought arises, let's label that thought today. Every thought that comes to mind, we'll put a label on it. It doesn't matter what label we put on a particular thought and whether it is accurate or not. You will notice that once we put a label on a thought, chances are a new thought will pop up, which is perfectly fine. If we begin to label like this in meditation, we'll also begin to identify thoughts that show up in our daily life. And that's the key. Once we are able to identify happy, skillful, sad, etc. thoughts, we'll be able to drop our negative thoughts. And that's the goal. So if you're ready, let's start. Please get into a meditation posture. Make sure you are seated cross-leggedly. If you are sitting on a chair, make sure legs are straight. That's all. Keep your back straight, your spine upright, your shoulders level. Gently close your eyes. Keep your mouth just a little bit open. That way, any tension you may be accumulating in your jaws will disappear. Put your palms in your lap, right over left, thumbs gently touching each other. Now, take a deep breath. As you exhale, let all your tension melt away. Bring your attention to the sensation of your breath. Feel the cool air at your nostrils as you breathe in. Feel slightly warmer air as you breathe out. Keep your focus on the sensation of your breath for about a minute or so on your own. Now, bring your attention at your heart. Imagine everything that happened before this moment melts into light and disappears. Things that have not yet happened are not real anyway. So it is just this moment. Enjoy the peaceful nature of this moment. Let this peaceful moment bring the next peaceful moment. Remember, there is nothing to do, nowhere to go. Just enjoy. Now, just observe the awareness around you. If a thought pops in your head, don't chase it. Don't think about it. Just give the first label that comes to your mind. Doesn't have to be accurate. When the next thought pops up, same thing. Just keep labeling them as they come up. Eventually, the thought train will stop, allowing you to enjoy the awareness. If you find yourself running away with your thoughts, please come back. Focus on the sensation of your breath for about 10 breaths. Again, if a thought arises, just label it with whatever comes to your mind. Enjoy the awareness around you for the last minute or so on your own. When you're ready, gently open your eyes. Any questions?
So when you say label it means like while I was meditating, I had a work situation come up or any other situation pop up. So you're saying just say happy or sad, friend, exciting, like just
Exactly.
what?
Whatever comes to your mind, Rashmi, it could be just say unnecessary, right? Whatever first comes without thinking, though, that's the key, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, so if you try to think about a label, then, again, you're getting deep into that thought itself.
Wow. Okay.
So, you know how we play that game that, say the first thing comes up in your mind when I say a word. Remember, we used to play those games when we were kids?
Mm.
Uh, just like that. Whatever pops into your head, just say it out. I mean, not say it out loud. If you're by yourself, sure, say it out loud. Otherwise, just label it. And as soon as you label it, a new thought almost always will show up, right? And you do this 5, 10, 15 times and it just goes away. Say, okay, I'm done playing.
It's like a child, and we are telling, oh, we are addressing you, we are paying attention.
Yep,
So different children keep popping up. I
that's
don't know.
correct. Exactly right. Exactly right. Because idea is that once you do that, right, you'll become more mindful during your daytime, where thoughts keep popping up even when you're busy, right? And you'll learn to avoid unnecessary and negative thoughts, which kind of take control of our lives sometimes. Does that make sense?
Yep. Awesome.
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you. Any other questions?
So when you were talking about fear of missing out,
Yeah,
right? I mean, whoever is in um, that condition, who likes the fast-paced life and who wants to be everywhere.
yeah,
So I think I have seen it personally that I think people who has a fear of missing out, even if they're at doing one thing, their mind probably might be a different thing because they are still thinking that they are going to miss something else.
exactly.
So, and those people I think would, uh, I have personally, as I said, I've personally seen that I don't think they are ever happy because they are always, their mind is always somewhere that, I'm going to miss, if I do this, I'm going to miss something else.
And there's a lot of insecurity which goes along with that, right? And if we start teaching the kids at early age that it's okay to just sit by yourself, right? You don't have to do anything. It's okay. See, part of it is not part. Most of it is our fault. In a sense, as a society, we don't value sitting around,
Mm.
right? If someone's sitting around, say, "What are you doing, wasting time?" Right? We put so much value to time, which is a good thing, but wrong emphasis in a sense that for us, time means it has to do something, right?
Mm.
And that's where I think we taught these kids wrong that, hey, it doesn't have to be this. Just sit quietly, right? Enjoy. And I said this before that some of my best ideas came when I was just doing nothing, right? On on purpose in my business, I made sure that I was not busy all the time, right? I had time to think, if you will, rather than just taking on every client who came across. We would pick and choose our clients, which kind of sounds insane, but it worked out well for us. So you know idea is that if you give yourself time to think, right, creativity shows up.
Mm.
I mean, I've seen people who go to 3 parties in one night,
Yeah.
right? I'm sure you know the
Yep.
same
Yep.
people I do.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. But
so
yeah, I think it's a very very good topic because I think we don't think that it's that you do need time for yourself, quite time.
and we think it's waste of time. That's the
Yeah. Yeah.
problem, right? Because we convince ourselves, the society has convinced us that it's waste of time. That's the problem.
Yeah. Yep.
Good
Thank you.
point. Yeah, absolutely. Any other questions? Okay, going once. All right, I'm going to stop recording, guys.